Zacchaeus. I'm here. I just got out the shower and I was listening to Kim's chemistry's video. No, I'm not spying on him, just making sure he don't be talking. And there are some things I do agree with the video about Latino immigrants. See, one thing that you're once again as American and as a brother of African American and Hispanic Spanish Creole, not Latin America, French Spanish Creole and Latin American descent, who also does not live by the one drop rule, who see the dysfunctional into it that actually came from our white ancestors hurt us, that also talk about, yeah, there's good things in African American culture, but it's also some bad things, not because the culture is made by African American people. Some mentality came, actually, a lot of the mentality came from the idea of a slave owner, okay? How we supposed to live, that's why I'm an individualistic person, I'm not a collective person. A lot of our people, when I say like half our people, can say all, live by a slave master's interpretation of life. Okay, that's why you see the community not messed up. I mean, it was messed up. And when Black nationalism came in, the idea once again was based on a white master's, white slave owner, or Ku Klux Klan ideology of how people of Black DNA, aka what they see as Black people, even though we're not pure Black, don't know how dark or light we are. How we supposed to live, and if we don't live that, we should get some type of harsh treatment like they got. Okay, and they have their pit bulls, the black nationalists, black identified nationalists, I say, who live by that. So, as a person for the multiracial movement, who also is multiracial and who also debunked the one drop rule and blood quantum as well, along black nationalists and white national supremacy, women called it. I'm here to let you know, and also who also part Hispanic. There were things in your video, though I do agree, that Hispanic immigrants, foreign-born Hispanics, value culture and value system more than skin tone and hair texture. When African American people and also white people sometimes or whatever talk about mejero de raza or light skin versus dark skin, that is an American issue. Yes, it happens in Latin America, but I've noticed that people go overseas because their culture is different in Latin America and it's not extreme. Racism and colorism is not extreme compared to here in the United States, okay? The people in Latin America are racially mixed. They might say they based on culture or how they will see themselves based on white, black, or native, or mestizo, mulatto based on exotic looks instead of ancestry. But the truth of the matter is, the idea of color and skin tone is not extreme compared to here in the United States. So when you, like Kat Lazo said in her video about colorism in Latino community and white privilege, she had a double dose of it in Latin America and here, where one part is not, it's very should I say hidden, and also it's open, it's also accepted. You have people like the Afro Mexicans in your part of your country, because you're part Peruvian, part Mexican. The Afro, the Mexicans, they look more like me, okay, who are not seen on the media and everything, due to Miguel de Raza, due to Jose Vasconcelos, who was born in Mexico but raised in Texas, which that makes a lot of sense. Lived in Texas for a while, should I say, when raised. He was a Creole, a white Spaniard descent, although his picture looks very racial bigoted compared to considering himself white. But he was the higher class, the higher white cocoa white class in Mexico, who did not like the fact that mixed race people, mestizos, mulattoes, or later on we say today Afro mestizos, who are three racial, triracial people, came in, Native Americans and Afro Mexicans came together to fight against Spain, who was causing all this racial and colorism with their caste system. Okay, so the point is, when he made the La Raza Cosmica, one thing you're not mentioning, that it did affect Latin America. Not only affect Mexico, it affected the whole over. But the point is, the people who are indigenous looking or Afro looking, who have mixed ancestry, who deem themselves as native or African or black, they choose, in a way, not all the way, but due to the social climate of colorism and classism together, they choose to live in that way. Not all, okay? I'm not saying it seemed to me, and I could be wrong, that they choose. They don't think they have a choice to make it in society based on their skin tone or color. At the same time, the racism and colorism is not extreme in those countries compared to the United States, where it's vivid. We have a history of Jim Crow. We have a history of the Barcelona program, La Guadalupe, excuse me, the Treaty Guadalupe Hidalgo, Barcelona program that discriminate against Latinos, especially immigrants who came here. Actually, they don't want, the government is the one that made illegal immigration amongst Latinos, not Latinos. Let's get that straight, because we didn't, African people did not want to pick the cotton and the peppers and stuff, so they had to go over the border to get Mexicans, and they thought those Mexicans would go back to Mexico once they were working. No, they saw the life here, and they stayed here. That's the reason why. A lot of people don't look at that now. In all, the classism, the one drop rule, and blood quarters. Because unlike in Latin America, there was no one drop rule. There was a caste system, yes, but there was no one drop rule. There was no anti-miscegenation laws, and there were no, there was of course, a blood quarter was mostly like the black caste system, but it wasn't extreme. Okay, the native culture still have its culture in Latin America, where our native culture here is in AKA concentration counts in a way, AKA reservation. Not really country like in Latin, in Western, but it was pushed that way. Okay, the African culture, African American culture, is very anglicized, where the Afro Latino culture is very vivid. The slaves did not get rid of their culture and also some of their religions, along with the natives. You have a combination of both, even though you have Pelamayabe, Voodoo, Santa Muerte, those those monotheist religions, those polytheist religions that the Catholic Church was against. Okay, it still is. Okay, so, but you still have the culture there. You know what I'm saying? The reason why many folks Africans go overseas, because the Latin culture, the African culture, is very vivid in Latin America compared to here, where our African culture was kicked out. Our African ancestors in the Anglo side, because the Louisiana was Nueva España one period of time, was part of Nueva España, was part of that we call it Spain, Nueva España. Like Florida was also part of Spain as well. Texas was part of Mexico. And many of the people of African descent, even though the Spaniards tried to stop them, or either the French, that still was vivid. It still was overlooked. You know what I'm saying? The African people, when they were catalyzed as Catholic, if they didn't want to be Catholic all the way, and they wanted to still keep their African religion, they would hide their religion, amongst the Spaniard slave masters and the sorry, I need to shave my hair, shave my facial hair. The truth of it, yeah, that's the whole reason why. They didn't get rid of all the African culture in Latin countries or Spanish, French countries, or even Jamaica, where the Anglo culture is not extreme compared to here in the United States. So that's the whole reason why that when we talk about color and skin tone here, it's extreme. Okay, it's extreme. It's very extreme, to the point it's in your face. Okay, so when you say about in Latin America, which I do agree, the novellas that we see are here owned by Cuban Americans, Telenovela and Telemundo, and white-looking Cuban Americans. They're not all that pure white doing their DNA, but they consider themselves white, but they got black and maybe some Arawak in their background, but they own Telemundo Univision, and even the Mexica movie that you was against, that the Mexican people or other Central American people who have a more indigenous look will say they're indigenous, not Mexican. They're not Hispanic Latino. They will mention it in the Afro Latino version of that Mexica type movement in Latino and Hispanic community. Also was pointing out that the Cubans, who mostly look white, are the main ones who orchestrating this colorism. Okay, so I have to agree with you that the novellas that Mala Negro trying to audition, that's here in the United States. That's not in Latin America. In novellas, they do have Afro-looking Latino people there, in playing the protagonist or the lead role, compared to here in the United States. You gotta understand too that when the white-looking Cubans left. And it was other type Cubans. They weren't just white looking ones or exotic looking ones. And there were light skinned Cubans who exotic looking, but thought they looked white too. Like Gloria Stefan, not a lot of white woman to me. And Amia doesn't either. Okay, her and Amia's niece does, Gola Flaca. But no, they very racially biggest exotic looking. Okay, but when they came here, not the Estevans, but many of them tried to align themselves with white people here. The weird part, the white people, the white non-Hispanic people here, the Anglos or the other Europeans who are not Anglo-Saxon, who identify as white here, who are not of Hispanic origin, in Florida, and I met them before, talk bad about Cubans. Okay, um, yeah, I met, no, for real, I met a truck driver, white dude. We was talking about The Rock. He had pictures of The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. We back in 2001 or 2000 with the gas station. I talked about hunger for at the gas station. He used to be a Diamond Shamrock, became a Bolero later on. And when he said he's from Florida, I said, "Oh, I look at Miami. Oh, don't go to Miami because you're not Cuban, you're not Hispanic. They would never accept it. This is a blonde, blue-eyed white dude from like the central part of Florida or northern part of Florida, and I'm really sure he's a little redneck. He was trying to hide it with me, like I can't detect that. So, but at the same time, those Cubans, Americans, some of them who look white, align themselves with white supremacy, which I understand why, because some who are not even white ones, white looking ones, the ones who look like, who are very exotic looking, who think they're white because they're very fair skinned, they here in the States, not all, I said the ones in Florida who have the money, one thing I do give Cuban Americans credit, their barrio looks good, okay, in the Little Havana. Let's get that straight. No offense to the barrios here in Houston, they look way better than East LA, Denver Harbor, El Paso. You got some barrios that's middle class in El Paso too, don't get wrong. I'm talking about the hood type ones, okay? You know what I'm saying? The ghetto ones. They look way better. When I saw pictures of Little Havana and I was debating with a Mexican American dude who's a Pocho, who was anti-black, but I told him straight up, you got black ancestry, emphasized native, Aztec, and white. And it was funny that a Mexican girl from Mexico, who's not Chicana, who's foreign born, straight up told him, how the hell you're a full-blown Aztec, but you're very fair skinned. Told that Mexican not to lie. I said, dude, I might look black, but I have more native color because the natives were more like my color. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not dark chocolate like Wesley Snipes. That's what people say. You don't have no white DNA. You have black and Indian. They tell me when I said, no, I have all three. Okay? Let's be real. So, even this chest hair, I have to show my body. I just got the shower. And I do have shorts on. I'm not naked, okay? I'm putting lotion and oil on my body. I always moisturize my body, okay? It's just I look good for almost 40 years old. The truth of the matter is, that's what they, that he was debating. And I said, excuse me, you can try to throw $1,000 and say you have my money and I'm on welfare. Yeah, but I'm also working on welfare. And I do report my hours because you can't, to get sisters, you can't just sit here and not work. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get out. I went through a lot. I came middle class and go up in the body of all the ghetto. My family stabbed me in the back and all detail that. You know what I'm saying? Control and manipulate me to the point that I couldn't think like an adult. Had a codependency. It's a whole different subject. I told him straight up, I said, dude, you can throw $1,000 all you want to, unless you show me some millions and billions, then you can talk. And I said, excuse me, he was going to tell his business, he lived in Pasadena, Texas. I said, if your barrio looks like Little Havana, then talk. Because Little Havana does not look like Pasadena, Texas. I told him on Facebook. So, and he shut up a little bit. He kind of got embarrassed. I said, dude, I'm not trying to get $1,000 a month. My main goal is, no offense, he's a Trump supporter. He tried not to be a Trump supporter, ever act like one. I said, I'm not a Trump supporter. I used to like Trump, back in the day, before the racism situation and him attacking Obama. But I want to get on that level, okay? So till you show me some $1 billion and some $1 million, then you can talk. But them $1,000, like I don't have $1,000 when I get income taxes sometimes. You don't have, you know what I'm saying? It was weird this year, but you know what I'm saying? In the past, so shut up. You know what I'm saying? I make this amount of money and this and that, and you must be lazy. Okay, keep on clocking into the white man's company. I'm doing it temporarily, but I ain't trying to work for the white man or brother or Latino. I'm trying to work for myself. Actually, I'm a combination of African American and white, and Native American with Hispanic origin. So that's the only man I'm trying to work for myself. And if it gets to be holy and spiritual, the Almighty God. Okay, I ain't trying to sit here and work for these doggone people and women too, because the human beings of color, inspiration, tech with the problem with are hell. Okay. They abuse it. They want to be the bully boss. They act like they God on the job. So I'm trying to get my own business. I'm reading books about that. So therefore, people suffer of like a knowledge of Hosea of 06. So I'm trying to get my own. I ain't trying to stay and get to because I wasn't raised. And that's why people say, you act like you better than everybody. No, I was raised middle class. So that's why you see that attitude come out. That's why like Section 8 Lottie said, treat that baby mama. She right. Just because she look good, don't mean she had to look like she in the ghetto or the Section 8. And I have to give her credit because my family, when they was poor during Jim Crow, my grandparents told me they looked like they was not poor. So that's why I get the attitude. I look like I'm something, okay? I ain't trying to look like all buckwheat and thuggish and ratchet. No, they are the white race men's dream. Those Africans who portray that mess. Continue to be white man's nigga. I'm not the white man's nigga. Okay, ER with the A. Okay, call it like it is. So point is, and I ain't talking about those who can't afford stuff, although they got dollar stores to get some cleaning and everything else. But baby, if you purposely trying to look ratchet and think that's how it's when you use your black DNA as an excuse, you sure put your black DNA in the wrong area. Okay, I call it like it is. So anyway, point is, I'm trying to get to the subject. So I agree with that, what you said. However, the reason why that people start to say colorism, whether it be white or African American descent in this country, because none of us are pure black in this country, no matter how dark or light we are, how kinky our hair, or straight our hair, or whatever, look like a West Side, look like Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson daughter, or whatever, because they put that one drop on the man, what you look like. Okay, it's no longer law anymore, but let's be real. Okay, when you go to African American community across town, you're gonna see all colors of people. Not everybody look alike. Okay, whatever you see on TV, that's just that's Hollywood trying to put that fixation. But in reality, we don't all look alike. Okay, you have folks that look like the stereotypical Latino, and you might be talking mess about African American, and you assume that's a Mexican or Puerto Rican or whatever. Excuse me, it could be a brother or sister from here. Just came out looking very exotic looking. Okay, let's be real. Now, anyway, the truth of the matter is that the reason why they say that because of Latino Americans here. Okay, particularly, I'm sorry to say, the Chicanos here, okay? And the Puerto Ricans that came in on in the 1940s, who got Americanized. The Cuban Americans, 1960, those groups. The ones who have benefited from and taught Latino immigrants that same racist ideology, okay? All right, so when they see those type of Latinos like a George Zimmerman. Yes, George Zimmerman's mama is an immigrant, but I bet some Hispanic American who's racist taught her and George Zimmerman, along with the dad, who's white American, okay, taught that it's anti-black stuff. The funny part is we did not know about George Zimmerman's great-grandfather, which I already knew he had some black in it, reading history in Latin America and how mixed it is. But when Trayvon Martin was shot, this later on, oh, my great grandfather was black, was an Afro Peruvian. I'm not racist. Okay, then why the heck you didn't tell everybody that? Why you didn't show any African? Don't try to act like, and I'm sorry questioning that too about the Bill Cosby, them sisters putting afros. They wasn't wearing afros and doing black pride and they had a whole high yellow. Even though I question Bill Cosby innocence and guilt because I'm very undecided about that. But all of a sudden, when this case came in, you start seeing these old exotic looking sisters wearing fros, so their weaves all start straightening their curly hair, making it poof up and all pride and looking like Angela Davis, different shades. Okay, where was all this come up after Bill Cosby? Okay, really. So that's my question with George Zimmerman. All of a sudden, you start getting questioned about how you hate African people. Here, you gonna bring up the fact that your great grandfather was a black man or Afro Peruvian. He looked like he part of like indigenous, like he African Peruvian, excuse me, in indigenous, like he a mixture or two, maybe some Spanish. They don't look Spanish, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? Because when I see the features of his face, he look like he has some indigenous with some African mixture. A bottle or zombo or whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? Sambo they call it. Not sambo like we hear with the stereotypes. Okay, here when we say people use stereotypes, I'm talking about sambo with a Z with a spell sound like an S. That's for partially black and part native. Okay, lobo, that's a wolf, but they use it in the caste system for black and Native American. A bottle, whatever. Okay, like mulatto. Okay, for black and white. Okay, or Native American and white, which is mestizo. Particularly when it comes to Latin America. Mestizo, Portuguese or Spaniard. Okay, the point is, That's what they're talking about. They're talking about those who have got Americanized, who hung around Latinos, who made fun of them, who born here, who called them, scheming front of called these Latino immigrants all time webacks and saying and border jumpers and stuff. This this is coming from the Chicanos and the other Latinos who are New Yorkers who born here, who don't like Latino immigrants, who talk bad, who try to sound like white supremacists about their own community when it comes to foreigners. Now, don't get it wrong. There are some wrong foreigners of any shade, of any color. We have people here from Nigeria, and I'm not saying all Nigerian people, but the ones here in Houston do not like us, especially not the Yoruba ones, the Igbo tribe. And my question, I could be Nigerian down the family tree too, doing that slave trade. I could be Igbo or Yoruba, whatever. But don't get mad because we don't have African culture in our true African culture, not white man's ideology of what black is. Okay. That we have transcended over the years since slavery, that we need to debunk and get rid of. That's how our community will grow better. Okay, call it like it is. I'm talking about the true African culture, the speaking the language, the food, the color. All that. Okay, well, excuse me, those African slave traders, okay, from the other tribe, didn't care about those black lives on the ship. They gave their black lives to the white master, white traders who they became our ancestor and along they American down the family tree. So that don't get mad about us not having no African type of culture and language and everything else. That is not my fault. Do not debunk that mess on me. Go to your ancestor and talk to go to their grave and ask why they sold the other Africans in and they had civil tribe wars to white people in order to collect a check in guns and golds and all the other stuff. That is not my fault. Okay, so that's why we don't hardly go to Africa, because the white people. Let me debunk that too. White people who are not even natives of this country, okay, who brought African slaves, kidnapped them, or later on was trading with other Africans here. Just because we don't want to be their slaves, want to be mistreated, abused, or oppressed and dehumanized due to their racism, they will say go back to Africa. Our African ancestors not only built this country without no paycheck during slavery, okay? Built that White House that Trump is living in. Built the railroad, all that stuff, okay? Built bridges, the Lombard, or not Lombard Street, what's it called? What's the street in New Orleans? Built that as well. They built that. Okay, and you're gonna tell our African ancestors when they're not here, but people who are African descent like myself to go back to Africa. Not only that, I always tell people African descent, stop denying your mixed heritage. We also part native besides white, so we have 3 homelands. The white man only got 1 homeland. So what the hell you telling us to go back to Africa for? Okay, we'll go to Africa when we want to go to Africa. Don't tell us to go back to Africa and your ancestors across the sea, overseas in Europe, okay? You know what I'm saying? Don't you dare tell us to go back. You took the land from our neighbor ancestors and trying to make it your own. You know what I'm saying? But just because we fought against you and we make sure that we fought civil rights movement, fought against slavery and the Civil War, does not mean you can tell us to go back to Africa. That's the whole reason why that, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we have resentment when people tell us to go back to Africa. And then to the type of stuff, of course, Africa does not look like jungles and huts and all that, but that's what we know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad the African channel came out. I did watch the African channel when I was at my grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? Watched the African channel, saw how nice stuff and beautiful stuff we don't see in media, but we see jungles and all that stuff on. And I'm glad the National Geographic brought that up today. It was wrong for us being racist like that by showing that part of Africa. But we don't want to go back. You know what I'm saying? When would we go, bro, when she was on PBS African, I said, what's some clothes on? Why you out there naked? You know what I'm saying? You know what she said when she was growing up, and that's the thing. We said we don't want to go live we don't want to live in those areas. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why. And then 2, tell us we're not American. Once again, the African part of us built this country without any paychecks. Okay, if our African ancestors were that lazy, they would not be able to build this country without no paycheck. Okay, so and then 2. We fought in wars. The first person to get shot was a partial black and Native American man named Crispin Attucks. I celebrate 4th of July because of him, not because of my white ancestors who stole this country, because of him. Okay? That's a real reason why I celebrate 4th of July, because of he was the first one to get shot. Okay, so so that's the reason why that we don't want to go back to Africa. Why we had to go back to Africa when we have three homelands? We're part native. That's why I debunk the one drop rule. Those who love the one drop rule, those are your potential enemies, people. Those are your white man's niggas. Those are white man's niggas. Those are slave. Those are true sellouts and coons. They want misery on a permanent level, just like what the white man, racist white man wants it. And that's when I hear someone talking about hotel with their old food and trying to fool me and trying to coerce me, mess. I know what they trick is about. They feel they have no self-worth in themselves, so they have to go somebody who do have self-worth to ding them down and demonize them. You know, I mean, demonize them, which I said, to make us feel less than who we are, so we can fall into their crazy rhetoric, which I don't believe in that mess. It ain't gonna happen with me because I know about their bad fruit. Okay, so truthfully, because one driver was not about black pride, it was about raping or either seducing a slave woman, pure black or mixed, and making that child be pure black by paper, not genetically, because they can't change genetics. Only God can do that. Okay, and make them be part of a slave population, and then later on after slavery be part of an economic development called Jim Crow. Okay, so I'm not the coon here. I'm not a self-hater. Those are self-haters who love their oppression. And technically, if I have African and Native and French and Spaniard and Irish and English, that's what I am, regardless of what I look like. And at the same time, people want to talk about, well, you look black. We'll get Akon up in this doggone room and see who looks lighter and darker and see who looks mixed or not if you want to go there. Okay? I'm not with that hotel bullshit. If you want to go back to Africa, those who believe that, all these years of still complaining, I said the same thing. Go back. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm like Trump. I want to get out of here. Trust me, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get the hell up out of here. Before it gets hot up here in America. Before it gets worse. Because I can tell, I'm not God, but sometimes it's going to get worse with that man in office. Okay? You don't stay in the pot that gets you problems. You get away from it. Harriet Tubman did that. Fred Douglass did that. The rest of the king sit here and talk about, you can't run your problems. They ran for their problems. The black Sentinels went to Mexico. Okay? They ain't stay in slavery. They ain't stay here in Texas. Okay? People, Sam Houston slave, well, except for Tom Blue. That was the, I don't know why he came back to Houston and still worked for Sam Houston. But when he went to Mexico, they left for a reason. Okay? They went to Canada, whatever. They went to Caribbean too. A lot of folks ain't gonna stay here because they know it was self-worth, and they knew, unlike Kanye, some of slave of choice, they debunked that argument. They stopped being a slave by choice. Went to other countries. Okay? Where they would be free. That's why I love Mexico. Okay? Because Mexico opened its doors for African people back in the day when they stole Texas away from Mexico to make it a slave country, their own state. Okay? That's why I celebrate Cinco de Mayo. That's why I love Mexican food. Okay? It opens doors. And then too, the truth man is, Mexicans, whether they like it or not, who don't know it, they're part African besides Spanish and Native. They have African in them. They don't look African, but mix is mix. I don't look like a white man. I'm part white and I'm part Native too. Okay? That is whatever is my background that led me to be here is who I am. Because what's some ignorant person don't like it, that's an ignorant person. Excuse me for language. Fuck that ignorant person. Okay? I'm getting tired of trying to bow down to some dumb ignorant person who don't know nothing or truth doesn't know anything. But the truth of the matter is, going back to color, the Americanized Hispanics are teaching that to the immigrants. And that's why you have the ones who are Americanized, Latinos who are immigrant families, do not teach their children Spanish. I speak Spanish. I'm glad I went to school, mostly Hispanic school, and learned how to speak my language. Since I found out that I got a Real in the family tree from Louisiana. We're born in Texas, but his parents from Louisiana, my four-grandfather. I'm very glad, and I'm glad that I did what I wanted to do and use my freedom that Martin King fought me, unlike some people who criticize me because I choose to be the butt dancing coon, the butt dancing Stephen Fletcher, and call myself a nigga and make myself look low. Okay? Those are the ones who, since they have a bad mentality, they're the ones who have, like the sister I cussed out on DJ Flash, she has a bad mentality about being black, having black DNA, but since I don't share that narrative, she gonna attack me with that mess. At least with black DNA, I'm making progress, not digress. They the one making digress and have a negative example of doing it. Okay? To the point it makes, that's why Africans don't even want to claim us. Okay? So I had to agree. But to sit here and say you don't care about interracial dating, I'm sorry to debunk your argument, dude. You do. You make a lot of videos about African descent, and I understand that certain people, I'm gonna say one particular person, is ghetto trash. Went from church into the ghetto trying to prove how hard he is. O'Shea, when he went to Brazil, said these nigga, I swear I wish those Afro looking Brazilians knocked his ass in the face. Here we go with the slave, that old slave mentality, that old fiddler. I swear, I do not. That's why I don't mind being an old person, because some of these folks are ancient mamas and fiddlers and act like they're a hotel when they definitely don't know what a hotel is, don't even know about that. They debunk their own argument. He went down there ignorantly talking about they got black people. I swear he one of them ignorant folks in high school who wanted to follow the crowd that was ignorant back in the 1990s. Because we both about the same age. He's like 37, I'll be 39 this year. Okay. And I'm glad that I was my own person and tried to learn and not be part of that. I knew, yes, I listened to gangster rap, but I don't want to live in a gangster rap lifestyle. Only time I wanted was protection when the laws don't do nothing, okay? To fight for my justice. Sometimes you gotta take justice in your own hands. Lord forgive me, but sometimes you do. That's sometimes, but no, no. My life was about living the good life, not the bad life, not the ghetto, not living in no Section 8 and all the other stuff up public housing, okay? And not having nobody control my behind either because they robbing the world. I believe in that either, okay? So that's the reason why that we, in Americans, our culture as a whole, and I admit this, is very dysfunctional, okay? In America, not just the African, the white culture too, okay? In the Hispanic culture that's got away from its original culture in Latin American countries. I will admit that. But not everybody that go overseas to Latin America is trying to bring the trash there. I admit I'm very liberal on the American side. I'm not conservative on the conservative side here in the United States, especially in the South. I can't stand the South. I'll do fine well in New York, but not the ghetto New York. I'll probably do well in Manhattan, okay? That's no, not no Bronx with Carter beat, no, baby, no. I like to live the good life, live bougie, and so my kids can thank me for making them have a bougie life and have a good life, okay? Having way better stuff that they father contribute, have no reason to get mad at me, unlike some people in my family, okay? You know what I'm saying? The contributing being here, I wanted to leave a legacy for them. That's what a true parent does. That's why I don't have any kids right now. I'm not having my kids in poverty. Okay, I don't want them seeing this ghetto shit over here. I don't want them seeing that shit. Okay, I don't want them seeing somewhere to aspire. Okay, that's you know what I'm saying. So that's the reason why. But the truth about it is chemistry. The reason why that I debunked your arguments. When you attacked me in 2014 and also asked you something about what's the call, I ain't making it up. We'll go again, January 25th, 2014, 9:39 p.m. Okay, because I have the email so showing the comment. And then you start calling me this. Your argument, you seem to be you're trying to cover yourself. I'm sorry, dude. You are very racist. To make a bunch of stories, the more you talk about white dudes doing this, but you talk less about white dudes going overseas or bashing immigrants, but focus more on the African American men. And like I said, Super Bowl 228, we don't get along. I'll admit that. Um, Andrew, we don't talk. I just had to be an addition to his argument. He didn't ask me. I jumped in because when you came on, what's that high yellow brother name? Not Trey, the Losh, no, not him. No, I won't bring him into the mess. It's another one who refer young Hollywood as white. And I said, excuse me, you can look and tell young Hollywood is not all that white. He's Afro mestizo. And I said that also too, that what's name Afro. When I say Afro, I am not saying black 100%. I am acknowledging that they're African, Spaniard, and Native, all three. Okay, that is a terminology, yes, from the United States. Okay, because yes, the original word for mestizo does mean mixed, but who made it to be only biracially Native American and white? Joseph Gonzalez. Blame him for that mess with Lorenzo Cos because when he said that the Negro race will go away and so new mestizo, that's why he started the Mejero Raza. But like, remember he lived in the United States for a while before he went back to Mexico. Okay, that's what he got. He was one of the Creole. And I mean Creole as in French Creole and Spanish Creole. I'm talking about in Mexico, the Criollo people, or the white Spaniards who were born in Mexico. Although I look at his picture, I question because he looked very, very exotic to a point that you think he got something else besides white, some native and some African in him. But he was a higher class and he was eugenics. So, and I'm glad that this Latino woman, well, she don't, sorry, I'm trying to be respectful. This Chicana woman, who is the Mexica movement, has said that he was against the natives and black people. He was eugenics. I'm glad she said that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I like her video. I don't always read everything she say, but I have to agree with that. He was. He had ties to Nazi Germany, which that's why you have Latinos, race towards African American, and also anybody of color, along with indigenous people. That's why you have those. I never forget, and it saddened me to see this. Because one thing about partially African American, Native American, white people, even though people say it's black, the native was always brought because we brought the native, even though they had Native American people who owned slaves and were also ruled as well. The African slaves were run to Native American communities for freedom. That's the reason why, and they both share both the victimhood of white supremacy. That's why you have because I ain't no white, I got Native. Okay, we have all three. Let's be real, okay? What happened is, it was a Mexican woman, and she was from Mexico. Darker, about my skin tone, okay? Beautiful, very indigenous looking. And I'll never get back in 99. I was coming from Asformer. Back in, I'm telling my business, I used to work at Asformer back in 99. I was 19 years old. I told the Mexican woman, I said, tú eres bonita como indígena. That means you're beautiful like an indigenous woman named her. And she looked at me with an angry look, like, how dare you call me that? You know, and she didn't cuss me out, but I'm like, tú eres linda, you're very beautiful. And that's when I realized there was colorism by looking indigenous and black in Latin America. Because I met people from Latin America, a Honduran woman who's very mestiza looking, not in Afro mestiza, but still mestiza look. She has more native look, but lighter skin. And we were talking about color and race, and in Spanish. And I told her about this Afro mestizo, but identified as mulatto dude who's very exotic looking, curly hair. Gonna tell me I was puro negro, this and that. He was, and I swear he at that point, I wanted to get that cigarette and just put it in his face and just knock him in, because that's, excuse me, I don't deny my mixed heritage. You're not gonna exploit me, because that's no term to exploit me. I know exactly, because I'm more darker than you. I'm not dark chocolate, of course. I'm darker than you, and you want to try to feel like you better than somebody. I know that bullshit right there and there. So when I was telling her about that, when I met this dude, I thought he was a curly haired Mexican dude, but no, he was doing it. So I was telling her about the story was at being told back in 2012. And she said, no eres oscuro, tú eres muy claro, meaning I'm lighter. That's what she told me. And remember, this woman don't look like this dude. He looked, they same complexion. Her hair is straight. She looked more indigenous. He has that mulatto, stereotypical mulatto look. So he wasn't in the same place. This was different times, but I told her about the situation. And she said, no es muy oscuro. You're not too dark. Es muy claro. And then she told me this. She said, yo quiero ser blanca. I want to be white. And I said, why? She said she wanted to be white. I think she was telling me in Spanish, if I'm mistaken, in 2012, that because it seems beautiful, the money here, you know what I'm saying? Because you see white people, you know what I'm saying? And I knew that's the reason why. And the idea you're hiding the colors in the Latino community is stupid on your part, because you mention it a lot in your videos about African people, about you going to the lighter skin. Well, guess what? I met Latinos who your complexion said they were not going anybody darker than them. Never forget, last year I was working with some Latino guy, and there was another girl who was Latina. He Mexican. The other guy, he about my age. The other girl, she working. She's young. She's She ought to be 20, but she was 19, 18. She won when I was in high school, okay? And she's about my complexion, a little lighter, but she's about my complexion. She's part Brazilian and part Mexican. And she didn't get offended. And we were talking about we use sunscreen. We were. But he said, that's right, I don't date no chick darker than me. Dudes about your skin tone. So my question, when you say Latinos don't care about skin tone, why are these Latinos talking to me about that? Why the term pelo malo and pelo malo, good hair, bad hair? The movie that Venezuela, I watched that movie with Junior, playing, he Afro mestizo. His grandma looks more African descent. She was straightening his hair, you know what I'm saying? And his mother, that's more light skinned, with a mestizo looking, look, she thought he was turning gay, you know what I'm saying, because he's straightening his hair. The grandma, her dad's side, because the dad deceased, and he was trying to look like the rock star that, for his picture. I saw that movie, okay, on YouTube. Why are there movies about Pela Mala, Pela Bueno? Why are there movies, and this is the truth. As African American people, we need to realize this is not only in our community, it's not in the Caribbean, Latino community, or Caribbean Hispanic, it's also in the Mexican community as well. Because I'll never forget, there was a Mexican woman when I worked at the house somewhere, older Mexican woman. She looked like a white woman, and she's a Spaniard, but she was mixed. And you can tell she has some native features. She was mixed, but she's like a white woman, blonde, blue eyes. And I said, La Rubia, she said, and she corrected me, they refer her as Huera. I know about Huera. I thought Huera meant light skin, but Huera can also mean for being blonde hair too. And she said, the men, when the women who are her look like her, oh, La Huera. Okay, and she'll slap in the face. Well, same thing when brother said, yellow bone. It's the same damn thing. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the rap song here in Houston, Badass Yellow Bone, yeah, we want something. Y'all know that Genuine took that sample, set it off this motherfucker. Okay, y'all know you know what I'm saying? But that song came from, who sings that song? Is it DJ Screw? No, before he died, one rapper here in Houston, from the South, from Texas. No, it wasn't Bun B and Underground Kings, UGK. It wasn't them. It wasn't Bun B. It's somebody here, Lil Kiki here, who's friend with SP and South Park. One of them brothers that came out back in 97, 98, and never was dancing on, yeah, we want some badass yellow bone, yeah, we want some represent, yeah. Okay, y'all don't talk about, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm forgetting, you're trying to go to the dance club here in Houston, or get together, or put that song, dun, 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 dun. Okay, excuse me, before you start talking about African American, this Mexican woman told me straight up, in Mexico, blonde and blue-eyed man, oh, la güera bonita, la güera. Okay, that's the same. If a Mexican girl is very pale skin, la güera. Okay, my question is to you, before you start talking about colorism, here's a brother like myself who is African American, American, French, Spanish, Creole, American descent. It took me a while to learn more about my roots, okay? Who hang around Latinos, particularly the immigrant ones. I hang around the Chicanos too, and those American born, but it's a lot of politics amongst us because I ain't the stereotypical Nigga, okay? N-E-R. I don't down myself. I don't exploit myself to get praise, okay? So, like Leslie Jones. In importance, that's why I wasn't shot of a Milo Tata. No, Milo racist too, but no, when you portray the stereotype, I can't sit here and defend you. Now, purposely was a stupid fool. Who hang around Latinos, speak Spanish. Sometimes I stumble because yo soy Americano también, okay? Yo soy humana, I'm human, okay? But I speak Spanish, speak Spanish since I was in high school. Speak a real good to the point. People ask me, don't need this, where you're from? Because they wouldn't be asked that question if I didn't have a good accent to speak in Spanish. Truth of the matter is, they're telling me this. And they, immigrant people, and it's those who are Chicano who say, I like the light skin Chicano, light skin, not no dark. And that's the truth, because even Longoria, she, in her family, she's the darkest one, okay? And they said that her sisters who are light said she like a fried tortilla, okay? No, Longoria doing her DNA test, she's Afro mestiza too, okay? From Texas, Chicana, not from Mexico, okay? But she said it herself that she was shocked that she got these opportunities to be on the soap operas, and you know what I'm saying, because she didn't think that because by her being dark skinned as a Mexican American woman, she didn't think that. You know, she was in beauty pageants, you know what I'm saying, at the time when she was Corpus Christi. She didn't think that. She thought that there would be, yeah, for real. So why are you hiding the issue when you're saying the Latino community doesn't care about that? Rose Perez, who's Puerto Rican, who been Hispanic all her life, and yes, she's New York, but her family's from directly from Puerto Rico. Directly from Puerto Rico, they do have mejor de raza. They do have racism about being indigenous or African looking. Okay, even the reggaeton videos you see mostly light-skinned Latinos. Let's be real. Okay, you'll see indigenous looking and Afro looking Latinas, but who we mostly see, especially, no offense to Louisiana Dale, Rakata, esta noche. Okay, yes, they had a dark skin, a dark chocolate Afro Latina on the video. She's a fine one too. Dang. Okay, her, and they had the other Latinos who looked stereotypical, dark hair, olive skin. But who, Papi, what she said, Papi, yeah, what she said, the point, she looked like Mariah Lynn. You know, Mariah Lynn's part Italian and part Puerto Rican. She looked like a white woman. In the video, by Diamond the Ghetto. Yeah, what she said, Papa, I forgot. It's been a while since I watched that video, but that's my favorite song. When I was in El Paso, Texas. Yes, they do play. But when I was in the Job Corps 2004, 5, and 6, they play reggaeton on the hip hop stage besides Chicano rap. Okay, so anyway, and I dance rakata. Yeah, I love rakata. The main person in the video who got more attention was the blonde, blue-eyed, curly hair Latina. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And you don't think that's weird? When they have beauty patches in the Dominican Republic, I'll never forget when Miss Universe, Chelsea Smith, who won Miss Universe, she's from Texas. She's the first one to be African descent to win Miss Texas. In 94, 95, she won Miss USA, and she also won Miss Universe in 95. Ramos Lynn had got killed. Don't forget this. I talked to her on social media on Facebook before. She's one of my role models. During that time, I was watching her, either she was winning or when she was given the crown to Miss Venezuela, which Miss Venezuela won in 1996. And they had the Dominican Republic. You saw the blonde, blue-eyed Dominican girl as Miss Dominican Republic. Okay? And in Miss Venezuela pageant, it's like a tradition. Women get plastic surgery and stuff. And it seems to be getting plastic a little more European, not indigenous or African. If they have features, they came out exotic looking, but the features are too ethnic. Yes, and many feminists, you talking about your reels in Latin America, have went against that. And the men didn't care. They continue to go to get surgery for the Miss Venezuela pageant. Yes, I remember watching this on, I was a couch reading, looking at these type of topics. So before, and you talk about colorism, you had a white woman who lived in Brazil, but her parents are Italian and German. You know who I'm talking about, Shusha. Before she started doing the Spanish network, she was doing she's a former Playboy bunny, okay? She's a former porn star. She started doing children shows. And I used to watch her on the Spanish channel, okay? I said, who is that Latina white woman? I did not know she was a full-blown white woman. I thought she just mixed and came out looking like a white woman, okay? But until I found more research, she's a Brazilian. I was reading about this when I was in El Paso, Texas, about colorism in Latin America and African American community in a textbook. One text was about Mexico, but they mentioned the Black Pride here in the Black Panther and Black Nation here in the United States, and about the light-skinned Latinas, the Mexicans who hueritas, get praised. And in those articles that were talking about that, they said that when Shusha became famous and she's on children networks, you had a bunch of parents trying to get that doll, the blonde blue-eyed doll in Brazil. Okay? See, one thing you can think that I was educated about this, like I don't read about this type of stuff, okay? These parents of all colors of the Brazilian population was trying to get that doll for their daughter, a blonde, blue-eyed doll. Okay, remember, this is Pele. The Afro looking, because he's probably mixed down the family tree too, but just look pure black. Pele, the soccer player, that was his former girlfriend, Shusha. And I never forget on the Spanish networks that she was advertised a lot. You know what I'm saying? I never forget it was a commercial. I don't know, the one was Mexican, Puerto Rican, whatever Hispanic origin she was. She was exotic looking, and it was mestiza, just exotic looking, mulatto looking, whatever, dark hair, olive skin, non kinky hair, whatever, long, dark, that look, okay. And she was trying. They were showing Shusha. I think no Jelly sounds Shusha shoes. She was trying to put on Shusha shoes, try to look like her. Yes, and I was like, as a little boy, I was a teenager watching the show, and then on the advertising, I was watching Padísimo, one of those shows on Telemundo, and I'm like, why is all grown trying to put these little children's shoes on to look, trying to imitate Shusha? Shusha, in this woman, and she is a full-blown white woman. She is Italian and German. Her family came down there to Brazil. She was born there. She speaks Portuguese. She's a former porn star, okay? From Playmate as well. She started doing a children's show, and best and believe these children was all over her, okay? In Brazil, then they started she learned Spanish. She started being on the Spanish network, and you see all these ethnic looking children, all over this white woman, okay? And they even was saying that too. I remember seeing this, and I was like, why everybody is all over this blonde boy? I remember we saying like, and it's very true. And I saw that too. Even when, in no offense to Selena Quintanilla, she's married to Chris Perez. Chris Perez has the indigenous, the Spanish, mestizo facial features, but the Afro admixture curl type / Guns N' Roses hair. We brought this up. When I saw Baby Bumba, I didn't know she was married back in '94 when she was alive. And there was a white-looking Hispanic dude in the video. And I'm like, why is she pick the only other men she picked, they look, the typical Mexican or typical Hispanic look, you know what I'm saying, that you would normally see every day. This dude like a white dude, you know what I'm saying, a dark-haired, dark-eyed white dude. He looked more white than, what's his name, Ricky Martin. I said Ricky Martin look white. Ricky Martin does not look white to me. I don't know which y'all think is white, but he does not look white to me. He's light-skinned Latino, but he does not look like a white man to me, okay? When he went on Oprah and said, my family, I'm talking about the Spanish, the South, the Latin music come from Africa, and my family from Spain. You're right, part of your family from Spain, but dang, you got indigenous and African in you. And I saw that little boy that's in part of your family, that's my skin tone, when you did that CBS special doing back in 2000, Ricky Martin line. Okay, anyway, talking about he full blown. And we know he had his hair out. He had that curl pattern. He had that curl pattern hair. He had that loose curly. You know where that curly pattern hair come from? The mothership, the slave. Come on now, it ain't kinky, but it's a loose curl. We know they add mixture. He didn't straight it. He made straight when he did cut and put blonde. And we did the crossover. You know what I'm saying? Live La Vida Loca. Everybody, he like a white man. No, he did not look like I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what y'all consider white, but that is not look like no white man. You can tell Klansmen that, okay? They were straight to do that like no damn white man, okay? Anyway, so my point is, the dude looked more whiter than Ricky Martin. And I'm not bashing, I love Selena, no offense, but I noticed that even when she was doing her fashion shows, she had women look like her, but she made sure that the blonde, blue-eyed, white-looking Hispanic ones was in her fashion show. Even the movie with Jennifer Lopez. And I'm like, why are they getting the white-looking ones? What about the Latinas? No offense, I'm not saying discriminate. Don't discriminate. But what about the Latinas in the barrio, in the hood, who want to be a model too? Who don't look like those women? I was saying that, and that's why Mala Negra was talking about that too, about her being more African-looking compared to the other Latinas you see every day. And I remember seeing it, and this was time when Shusha was big, and I'm serious, even the Tejano videos, yes, they would get the average looking Chicana to be in Tejano music video, especially their light skin. They got the darker ones too with the curl, pattern hair, or whatever. But I noticed some of them would get the white looking ones, or who's very light skin, but still look ethnic. And you don't see that you, yeah, I debunk your argument, dude. You think that every African American man does not pick up a book and read, or go hang around the culture, or hablar español también, okay? um i I couldn't get away from Latin culture when I went to school, okay? And and listen to Hollow music, even though that's not originally Mexican, it's more Americanized Mexican culture. But hang around Mexico from Mexico, Salvadorians, Puerto Ricanos, Colombianos, okay? I like them brothers. I go learn the culture, okay? I love Latin culture, and then find out that I have a trace of Hispanic origin in me, makes a lot of sense. Real, yo confiado answer Latin real, that's Spanish, R-I-L, okay? Um, so right there, dude, that's why I see that you don't come back on my videos. Not only what you said back in 2014 and what you did in 2014, disrespecting me, but no, of course, he disrespected me when he asked to see my thing, okay? But also called me ugly and everything else. Like I got butthurt by somebody who like a crackhead version of Mark Anthony, really. Truth of the matter is, like I say, yes, on your standpoint about colorism, and it's not about colorism, it's about value system and all that. I agree with that, because I met Latinos, Colombian, one particular one, she was a evangelical Colombian woman, and she said, when you, and I ain't know Spanish Creole at the time until I did my research in 2016, but back in 2010 I was at my grandmother that side. She would ride a bus, we're going, back to the east side, and I asked her if you're Puerto Rican, Mexican. Oh, I'm not Mexican. And she it's funny, she was a religious woman, but she couldn't stand Mexicans. And she lived mostly in the Chicago area. But she was Colombian. And she said, us Hispanics, when you speak Spanish, like you speak Spanish, you're like one of us. And that's very true. When I hang around Latinos, especially those who are from the foreign-born Hispanic people who are not Americanized, when I speak Spanish, it's like a familia, okay, with me, okay? That's why when African American people go, oh, those Hispanic people, this and that. No, you need to see people as individuals. Stop. If you want to see us as a collective and make stereotypes, people say as individuals, you do the same thing with other people as well. Many Hispanic people, including those who are born here as well, but those who also who are foreign born, are not as racist as here, okay? However, the ones who Americanize, who are immigrants, and it goes for someone like you, buy into the culture and then try to act like they are not racist. Okay, so that's the reason why. But you have those who stay to their culture, who do not get involved in it. Because, for example, in the OJ trial back in '95 and '94, when Geraldo Rivera, who's Puerto Rican, encouraged the Hispanic community here to go with the white people saying O.J. Simpson was guilty. Of course, I don't agree that poll was accurate, because everybody I met, white people who was on O.J.'s side. My dark-skinned grandfather on my dad's side, who's deceased, was totally against O.J., believed that he killed Nicole and Ron Goldman. My dad believed that he did it. Okay, my grandma didn't believe he did. It was a big mess. My aunt did it. It was a big argument in the house. Okay, trust me, I'll forget this drama. My mom believed he didn't do it. Okay, so I was undecided, when to get nobody's side. So that poll that the media was trying to propagate and lie was very inaccurate. But he was the main one, talking Paul Rivera, who's part of the NAACP, okay, who's now Republican and is a Trump supporter, who didn't care about Puerto Rico during the hurricane. He the one who promoted the Hispanic community to say O.J. Simpson was guilty, okay? And when you met Mexicans, Puerto Ricans who said, yeah, he did it, yeah. And you had those who say, yeah, that nigga did it, you know what I'm saying, being racist, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Not only, but one thing, when Selena was killed, and the killer was right there, the Mexicans from Mexico who was Selena fans said, unlike the old trial, we don't know who did it, okay? But the killer was right there talking about Salazar. I don't forget this reading, and I said, yeah, there's a difference between the foreign-born Hispanics and the Americanized Hispanics. The Americanized Hispanics, not all are Americanized, in racial policy do come in Americanization. However, the foreign-borns are not as racist. They don't believe in that. They don't look at that. In your case, you're right when it comes to many individuals in the Hispanic community who are foreign-born. And many foreign-born Hispanic folks are more open to African Americans, I tell people this, than the ones who are born here. Those folks who are fighting and killing in foreign-born people, those are Chicanos who are born in the United States, and also foreign-born like Mexicans who got assimilated to Chicano culture. Okay, not the average one who out there selling tacos in the street, or those or whatever. And particularly the ones who are Mexican American by citizenship, but their family are foreign-born, will straight up tell you, call Chicano, they will cuss your ass out. One particular Mexican, when I was doing, I was a lab rat. You know what a lab rat is? I was doing the guinea thing. Trying to get money for my asthma. It's our West Side, and there was a Mexican, and she was speaking Spanish, and I said, I speak Spanish too. I said, and I was speaking Spanish, and one of the girls who drove me to Sugarland, I know her because when she was going to Everest, I was going to HEC for cosmetology 2012, and I didn't know she was part white. She told me on that she did tell me on she's part white. She didn't speak Spanish. She has dark hair, olive skin. You think she's straight up a light skinned Mexican, but no, she's part Mexican and part white. So when we were speaking Spanish, and she didn't speak Spanish, so when she left whatever, and I was speaking Spanish to the secretary, I said, tú eres, ¿dónde eres? I said, eres mexicana, puertorriqueña, salvadoreña, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, no, I'm Mexican. I said, are you Mexican, like Chicana? Or, I'm not Chicana. Oh, I'm not Chicana. Oh, no, I'm not Chicana. I'm Mexican American. I'm not Chicana. And she get mad. She said like that. She said, and she was fine too. She said that, what did she say? She said, Mexican Americans who are Chicanos think they're white. And she said it with American accent too. You know what I'm saying? Of course, she'll sound American, speak English. When she speaks Spanish, she sounds like a straight up Mexican, okay? And she straight up said this in the office, in the clinic. She said, Mexican Chicanos think they're white. We don't want to be associated with those people. So a lot of people uneducated. A lot of people in the African American community, as a person who represent both genetically, who don't look white, but I am genetically mixed with African American and Anglo white American, okay, are very uneducated about this, okay? And I'm glad I do hang around Latinos, who I'm also related to from being part Spanish Creole, because remember, we still got roots from Spain that spread all over the Americas, from this side of the border and south of the border, okay? Truth of the matter is, I'm glad to let you know that is very true, that I have to agree with your argument. However, you're using white Anglo-Saxon ideology about African American people to attack African American people, which why someone like myself bash you a lot. Instead of sitting here looking at African American people as individuals, like you see when Hispanic folks see an individual, you're not doing the same thing either. And yes, they're dumb, stupid brothers individually, not as a whole, who make vocal they make their voice be vocal, trying to say out loud to the point you to assume all of us think the same way. But no, in my conversation, and this is all real, unscripted, this is all me, no lies. I know, okay, and I hang around Latinos from different parts of Latin America. I love the culture, and I do speak the Spanish language as well. I do stumble as an Americano, as a parte gringo marino también, but at the same time, I always perfect myself to do it better. Okay, so don't knock a person from trying. Okay, like my partial Asian, Filipino, and part Mexican friend I was trying to hook up with 2 years ago told my high yellow black identified manager and this and the brothers that work for UPS was getting, I'm trying to tell our business, worked at Macy's, who was trying to make money. He don't speak it real good. I was speaking way better than since before I met her, okay? And like I told her, so, excuse me, don't forget with the y'all in our family tree, Spanish Creole, I don't go by one drop rule. It's weird that his sister is pro-black, light skin, from web raised, and entire business. I'm looking at her and critiquing her because like she critiqued me. But at the same time, we had a Nigerian problem, okay? And I say Nigerian problem as a whole. A Nigerian Igbo woman, okay, who by my skin tone, I got some English in her DNA because white being with that mixed that too, and that she bleached her skin. Okay, she thought she was all that. thought she was better than us, and she thought she overtaught the manager, talking about the manager. And I was trying to explain to the sister that the other sister, dark skinned sister that was from New York, me and her got along. She's Nigerian, she's Yoruba. They don't have that mentality. They're oppressed in Nigeria. The Igbo tribe, was the English left, they control Nigeria. They have this extremely bougie mentality. And I'll get it right. I love the fact that having confidence, not having a slave mentality. I love that. But when you start attacking people and start being your system, by being rude, that's what becomes a problem. And I was trying to tell her that. So when I was gone for one period of time, or when I ended up actually being late or one time, whatever it was, and one of the sisters that worked there, who's French Creole descent as well, by my skin tone with light eyes, and she said, "Zach, you right. What you explained to us about the evil, you sure right that those evil tribe, the Nigerians don't." I say yes, because I talked to Africans myself who are not Nigerian and who are Nigerian who clarify that. Okay, because the stereotypes here, the ghetto. I had a friend who's dark skinned, Sudanese, Northern Sudanese, speak Arabic, also speak Spanish, who also like Latinas and Arab girls. And he told me, he announced my mixed heritage. I was the only Black American friend he had. He could not yoke with the people. And I said, yeah, because some of our people all live their own ghetto mentality. They go along with the white supremacy of what Black is. That's why I cannot get down and claim to be proud, because they go along with. No. If you do your research, brothers and sisters, your attitude comes from white supremacy stereotypes. I'm not going along with that bullshit. Okay? That's why our community is so fucked up. You want to sit here and think it's being proud. When I bring out the facts, what your ideology comes from, who used the ideology to attack me. You're talking about Marcus Garvey, who's Jamaican, who had a race colorism issue in Jamaica, trying to equate that mess here in the United States. Okay. You now look at the fact that by the Boys and Walter White, George Washington Carver, and who else? They all what's his name? Booker T. Washington, all had different point of views. There were different shades, different mixtures as well. George Carver, Washington Carver was dark skin. I don't know if he mixed with something or not, but we know that Booker T. Washington's dad was a white man, slave master. The Boys and Walter White like a white man. The other boys were very light skinned, but look ethnic. You could tell he was African descent. They were trying to help the community, integrate the community for economic, to get ready for economic default. Because the idea of segregation was have one drop Black DNA and being oppressed and have an economic default. Okay? Here comes Marcus Garvey, who has an issue, the fact that all of us was classified as Black, no matter how dark or light we are, no matter what heritage we had. Okay? And he comes in. And like I said, the first people he go is the people who are uneducated, who live in the ghetto, who didn't have no self-esteem, who felt self-worth, who lived in the spirit and felt the spirit, and that's what he went to. He knew how to use those people to attack. That's why you see so intimidation tactics. Because remember, these folks that live in the ghetto, adults or in the South, their ideology came from slave master mentality. And usually they had those who were lighter skinned, but usually they were not to be stereotypical, they were dark skinned. And many, because there were some colorism within the African community about who made more money, whatever, as well. Okay, and the blue veins side, all the other stuff, with the paper bag and the hair comb, all that stuff was going on too. But these folks were uneducated, okay, and they felt the only way to feel pride is to be dominating the people who don't look Black or who don't perceive as Black. That's why you see that intimidation tactic that the white masters do to slaves. It's no different than Fiddler. Either Fiddler and Kunta Kinte were both dark skinned. Kunta Kinte saw potential being free. Fiddler felt in his despair, okay, and he felt it's his place to be a white man's pet and not get out of it. Something happened to him, and when his master gave him the part to be the overseer of Kunta Kinte and called him Toby, he was trying to make that man be the nigga, call like it be a white man's nigga. If we see the slave, the thug day, okay, he was trying to manipulate Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte knew he was oppressive behavior. This was an idea of oppression, and he didn't want to be a slave to it besides slavery, okay? If you know what I mean. When he took those chains off, a lot of folks ain't looking at this. Who came out there? Wasn't the white master that came out there? That was later on. That was Louis Jr. character. Fiddler came in to stop him, and he beat him. So here we go. If you have former slaves, okay, who still have that mentality, but they feel who they are, what they are, that's the reason why they're poor, and they have low self-esteem. Here comes this dark-skinned man who was educated, but still had a doubt of who he was, okay? Still had insecurity on his own self from Jamaica, because he was mixed with Irish. Marcus Garvey was not pure black. He had Irish ancestry. I guess he's the darkest one in his family. They demonized him, and demonized him out in Jamaica as well. He comes to America with the United States with his attitude, and he started attacking W.E. Du Bois, okay, who's trying to fight for our freedom of all shades in the United States. He started bashing him, questioning if you know what I'm saying. You don't understand where you're coming from. Not only that, he goes to the poor areas who are not educated, because they were educated people in them ghettos. They knew he was on the con game. Not only did he con them and try to talk about going back to Africa, ain't none of them people moving to Africa. This dude was traveling Europe, as well. Duke Jackson was talking about. That's why I had to defend him in that argument. He was going to white establishments, going to Europe, going to Canada, and United States. He ain't never stepped foot in Africa. All the money he scammed from them people. Okay? Talking about go back to Africa. There were some things he said was true when he had the sisters go register to vote. He also said that those who don't know their roots, it's like a tree that have no roots. I get this, why I saw all my ancestry. Actually, we're both Leos. Our birthdays around each other's part. Okay? Talking about Marcus Garvey. All right. But he was not about freedom. Okay? He used whatever white man's ideology see in a black man. You know, we're not pure black, a black woman. If you don't live that ideology, you don't love yourself. This is the same argument back in slavery that he used Detromania. Detromania, this bad psychiatrist back in slavery, called a runaway slave, have detromania as a disease when it wasn't a disease because he desired to be free. Okay? Trying to stop, that's why slaves, Kanye, here it is, did not get out of the plantation. Not only using the Bible, the story of the Bible to keep them in slavery, but they were saying they had detromania. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Now detromania is not considered falsely self-hatred, because you're making a freedom of choice. When you're proud of yourself, you make your own choice based on your own choice as a free person, not on other people's terms. Okay? People who hate themselves go by other people's terms based on those other people, not by their choice as an individual. That's a difference. So when he started telling people that you hate yourself, he started using the argument. A lot of folks not looking at the fact. This dude did have a meeting with the Ku Klux Klan. June 25th, 1922. He had a meeting with Edward Young Clark, Klansman, in Atlanta, Georgia, and he thanked those folks for segregation. This is the reason why they had more lynchings, because the idea was to propaganda cause more lynchings in the South so they can go along Marcus Garvey to keep it separate, non-equal. The white folks equal, have equal rights, and people ever say, don't let's call it because it's separate, equal. Okay? That's the whole reason why. So when you have, and W. Du Bois warned us that if we listen to that man, that's why our communities are messed up after integration. Because when integration was happening, you had people saying dark and light, harassing other people, saying you are Uncle Tom. They fighting for freedom. They not fighting to be oppressed like they were. Okay? You post trying to be in people's ear, trying to tell someone to do. I swear I wish some brothers back in the 60s who civil rights movement was not longer believing that not only shoot the white race people who's trying to spit at them. Forgive me, sorry, no offense to Martin King, and God forgive me as well. But also shot them in the face, but shot those brothers and sisters who try to stop black freedom. Okay? Because they weren't brothers and sisters. Not every brother is a sister. Not every brother is a brother, not every brother is a sister. They were stun blocks. And they use white racist ideology with black is to determine what black is. That's why you see this mess go on. So I agree that some of these brothers, like for example, O'Shea Jackson going to Brazil. Hey, nigga. I see why you don't want some of these brothers. I said some. But a brother like myself, Going to Latin America, learn the culture, you have no argument on and no water, grass stand on, because I don't represent. Yeah, I get crazy. Who doesn't get crazy? Okay, I'm human. Okay, but my main goal is to produce and be progressive and be productive, not to be not to destroy myself, not to be destructive. And I understand some brothers going to Latin America, and you're actually right. There's some I've seen some videos where they get on fire, call themselves niggas, and talking about sisters who they chose to go, who have to be hood rats. Not every sister is a hood rat, okay? But they chose to go with the ghetto hood rat. They listen to that old damn nasty ass ghetto trash song from Cash Money. Give me a project, bitch. Give me a hood rat chick. Now, they ain't talking about no cousin sister had to be in the projects who ain't trying to let the white man's racist ideology overtake her mindset. They talking about old ghetto trash. When you sleep with trash, you get trash, no matter what color it is. And I danced and made fun of that song, but I used to hate the song because I knew later in life it gonna hurt our people. So every time we fight for Black Lives Matter, they gonna put out, give me a project chick, give me a hood rat bitch. You know, don't give a fuck. Okay, they're trash. That's why they throw away Shaquita's resume in the garbage when she trying to apply for a job due to that type of stereotypical propaganda. Okay, so that's why when Lil Wayne was talking about making fun of Emmett Till and saying fuck Black Lives Matter, y'all was shot once again. I wasn't. You gotta understand, when hip hop was letting folks use the word nigga and Eazy-E and Dr. Dre, okay, encouraging people to use the word nigga. Everybody was shocked that these brothers wearing Confederate flags over Trump. That's one couple of 10 years back. Not say 10 years, no, almost 20 years. About 19, 16, 17 years back in 2001. Who came out, Bia Bia? Lil Jon will represent your shit. Bia Bia. Who had a Confederate flag on? And I told my dad, see, I knew after they would use the word nigga, the Confederate flag, the cooning was going to come in there. Okay? As a defending a word that degrades who we are. And putting it in music and telling the whole world before Kendrick Lamar started to promote it worse than then later on, to use the word nigga. I knew that they were going to start wearing the Confederate flag. I knew this mess. It's called minstrel behavior. And I'm sorry, this got me listening to Latin music in the 90s. Because, I'm sorry, as I started to know, Jigaboo, picking any shit in hip-hop, as it started coming into hip-hop, they had good hip-hop, don't get me wrong. The Diddy, Missy Elliott was a good hip-hop. Yeah, they used in, but it wasn't extreme. But when they started that old nigga shit, that ODB, that yes, that mess. When they start to exaggerate with this mess, with the N word and get another real nigga, and I swear, I will turn the music off and put some Selena on, put some Latin music on, put some salsa merengue that has some African in it, okay? I didn't want to hear that jigaboo shit, which is why I speak Spanish and sing in Spanish, because I knew what the industry was going through. I knew it, okay? They weren't talking about positive hip-hop music as in Will Smith and Big Daddy Kane and what's his name, Heavy D, MC Light. They talk about that old ghetto, I'm a nigga shit. Okay? Now we out here screaming Black Lives Matter. Because soon you start screaming that, they gonna show them images of that mess. I told my people, ever since they don't listen, which I don't care, I'm not gonna talk to those who won't be ignorant. But see what we're going through now? See what we're going through now? Reaping what we sow, shall I say? See, I'm going. So I understand you're talking about now those type of brothers on nigga shit who make us look terrible, who look worse than many pingwin and look worse than Negrito in that lottery game. Them motherfuckers, those symbols, any shade, dark or light, look exotic, whatever, kink curly hair or whatever, who make us look terrible. I understand, but not all of us are accent act the same damn way. Get it in your head. And then also talk about the ones who racist towards African people who are Hispanic, who emulate them damn brothers. That's weird. That's weird, really. But like I say, it's someone like you, chemistry, who hang with the type of bullshit in the hood when you move cause of low property rent and everything else. You emulate that mess, then get tired with it. Let me let you know, dude. There was other African descendant people that you don't talk about. So that's the case. If you're not against African descendant people marrying whatever. Now, before I go, I'm going to. I mean, then you can be making videos, talking about go overseas. Because if we want to go overseas, that's my choice. America. One thing that I would mind going overseas, because America is a corrupt country. I'm sorry, I call it is. Besides race, this it might be have the best country to immigrants. Like I told this African dude, you have not. Y'all don't know how it is to live in the United States. You might think it's a great country, but I've been here, and my ancestors was here, African descent, and those who are mixed as well, and those who are white as well. And I says they had it hard. You saying this dark skin, real dark, true, pure African saying it's the best country, what you see on TV, and you just happen to be here. Stay here a little longer. You're not gonna scream it's the best country in the world. Okay? America is very, and yeah, I admit that I have very American ways. They know I admit it, but also, living in yo vivo en cultura latina. You know what I'm saying? I live in the Latin culture. I've been around Latin people since I was a child. You know, not in next door, but going to school. People and dancing and singing Spanish music and listening to Latin music. You know what I'm saying? As a Spanish singer, person singing Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So that's I've been around and I know and like I say, and the point is, you over here talking about thug trash, ghetto trash, hood rat thug brothers who come on YouTube who say this shit, who don't discern, who don't think outside the box like I do. You're talking about that, but you're making a stereotype as a whole that all of us like that, and that's not me. Okay, and they hate me. And like I saw one particular rapper doing a video recently. I can see who it was recently, and it was different shades of brother, dog. Like even anxiety, they all were looking at me. Well, I think the artist was kind of nice, but the other was looking at me strange. And I'm like, who are y'all? You know what I'm saying? I ain't did nothing to you because I don't act a certain way and I'm not speaking Spanish in the store. Then they was like shocked. Yeah, brother, I'm my own person. Maybe if you be your own person, you probably know something besides trying to be hood and thug. Actually, you're cooning for the white racist people because they want to see you as being stereotypical and dumb so they can laugh and say, I'm white and better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like I got more privilege and I'm more educated than you. That's what you're doing. You're buying into the fear and complex of the white supremacy when it comes to being African descent. I call it like it is. So, anyway, um, but the truth of the matter is, um, now go back to the culture. I agree with you wholeheartedly that the half part Latino people should learn Spanish. I meet so many people who are Hispanic who do not want to learn Spanish. I can't make them learn Spanish. That's their own choice because I believe in being your own person. But I'm glad this brother here who had dropped a Spanish Creole roots took the time to learn Spanish. Okay? I love speaking Spanish. That me gusta hablar español. You know what I'm saying? I love speaking Spanish. Okay? Yo amo que hablar español. Es mi segunda lengua. También. Me gusta hablar español todo el día. Con la gente que habla español también. You know what I'm saying? So I love speaking Spanish. And I understand why. Because I'm going to find out how to get out of infantry. Okay? But point is, I do agree with that. That those interracial, intercultural families should teach their child to speak Spanish. I tell a lot of my friends, and one thing you gotta understand. Here we go with the Chicanos. I have a homegirl who's Chicana. Okay, the dark skin, real dark skin brother. Um, it's her husband, common law husband. Okay. Um, she don't like speaking Spanish. Her child from her first marriage, because her husband's deceased, was African descent. Okay, black skin. Okay, now daughter is very smart. Um, the point is, and she is the first of her because her sister's part. black too. Her dad, not the mom, the dad had a baby mom who's African descent. Okay, and he speaks Spanish. Okay, but the reason why she don't like speaking Spanish, because when her dad and her mom split up into her business, the mother one time there was a Hispanic lady, they were speaking Spanish, and they asked her questions. She was a little girl then, so she spoke back in Spanish. So when the ladies left, her mother was one of the mothers that throw a chocolate, you know what I'm saying? But she threw her hand. Don't you ever speak Spanish again. We're in the United States of America. So before, to me that's child abuse. I'm sorry, I don't care if anybody said that's child abuse. And trust me, that was my daughter. I don't care, male, female, whatever. Of course, I'm a male, can't make no child with no male. I 9-10 will knock your ass. You have to go ahead and domestic because you abuse my daughter, but nobody, okay? And I don't let my own mama or daddy abuse my daughter, okay? Or my son. And you can say, oh, you wrong to your parents. No, well, did they wrong? Don't make no partiality argument. Please, not to start the Bible, because God does not see no partiality in in that argument. Hello, to both will be wrong in His eyes. The truth of the matter is, many Latinos who are born here have experienced that. Not just Chicanos. I knew a girl who's part white French and part Puerto Rican. And when I thought she was a dark-haired white girl. When I saw her, it was in Equinox International in that MLM cult, multi-level marketing cult. Okay, when I told y'all, I was talking about the cults when I'm talking about the other video. Okay, the sex cult did also have a multi-level marketing cult in Hollywood, the one that actually got in trouble. Okay, so when I was talking Spanish, so I heard her speak. I heard her last name, and I said, "Doni eres?" And she said, "Excuse me." Excuse me. I don't speak Spanish. My father is Hispanic. He's Puerto Rican. My mother, I speak French. And this is how she said it too on the line. And it was back in '99. And she said, well, anyway, reason why I don't speak Spanish because my father, when his dad, my grandfather, came from Puerto Rico and in Miami, Florida, he told my dad, you better not be speaking Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So that's sorry, because she had a Valley girl accent. I'm not lying. Not lying on me, a stereotype. But yeah, and she like everybody thought that was a pure white woman with dark hair. No, baby, she is part Puerto Rican, part French, and she speaks only French when it's not English. Okay, she don't speak Spanish. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm not lying. No, I'm not lying. That's how. For real. Back in '99, we both was in Equinox International trying to beat our own business with that coat, okay? With that we ain't not know about on the southwest side of Houston. Okay. Sorry, but wait, how she said, I'm not lying. She had a fatty crop accent. I'm not lying. Anyways, but sorry. Let's get to the subject. So, point is, that is very true. But you gotta understand, you had people who was taught, whipped, spanked, penalized for speaking Spanish. That's why you have so many Latinos who are born here who do not speak Spanish. Okay? Also, too, my principal, who taught white please, my high school principal, who's Chicano, who's from West Texas. He from West Texas. He taught white please. You see a short, gray-headed, with dark hair, gray-headed Mexican-American man, and he's a little darker, and he taught white please. For real. You shocked when I first met him. I ain't trying to be stereotypical back in 9th grade, because he was my principal up to 12th grade, 20 years ago. Hello, how you doing? That's how he talked. And you would think this is a white Anglo-Saxon dude from Texas. You know what I'm saying? No, this is a Mexican-American man. So when I was speaking Spanish, hello, Zach, you speak more Spanish than I do. That's what he said. And his wife, who speaks more Spanish but doesn't speak Spanish, well, we were in a Spanish club banquet back in '97. She told me, she explained, she said, both of our parents were migrant workers. And back in the day, Mexican Americans taught, do not teach your children Spanish because it will hinder them. And that's why our children do not speak Spanish. And this wife was fine. She was older one, but she was fine. She ain't look too much her age. You know, he was born 1940 something. Okay, I'm his business. But she was, you know what I'm saying? So she said, yeah, he said, yeah, that's very true. My parents didn't teach us Spanish because um back they were migrant workers, back in back in Jim Crow days. At this point is, and you know what I'm saying, and they was taught that not to teach us Spanish because they we was learning English and we're Americans, you know what I'm saying, and that's the reason why. And also too, I never forget when I was doing before I go, when I was doing the extra scene for King of the World back in '99 during Christmas time before I got sick at the Astro Hall, where Terrence Howard played Muhammad Ali. The movie came out in ABC back in January 2000. Okay, and in the fighting scene, there was a Mexican American woman that I thought was full, but Mexican. Guess what? She was part Black French Creole, and so I was speaking Spanish to her, and she said, I asked her, "Excuse me, so." She said, "Why everybody speaking Spanish to me?" She reminded me of Jasmine God. I'm not lying. She didn't act like Whitley. You know how Jasmine God talked back in the day? She reminded me of her. She said, "Why everybody is talking Spanish to me?" Like, she had to look up. She was high yellow bone, part Mexican chicks. You know what I'm saying? And she for real, I imitate these people. Okay. She said, "Why is everybody speaking Spanish to me?" She had a Brucey attitude. She from Sacramento, California. Don't forget. She live in a certain area that I want to tell her business. I might have to hope one day I see her again. It's been 20 some years, almost 20 years. And she said, and so when I told her I was mixed, she accepted me and everything. Yes, I'll never forget that. And I said, why are you? And I was very talkative. She listened to my conversation. She, saying, and she was fine. And then I was 20 years old. She in her 30s. She had children, and her children. One of the daughters, because she had children, I don't know. I think the brother was an African dude. I don't know who his makeup down the family tree is, but they're more like my complexion. Okay, because she's very light skinned. Okay, the youngest daughter was about my complexion. Okay, she caramel like me. The other one was more lighter. And I never forget when we were talking. She said, "I said, why you don't speak Spanish?" She said, "Well, see, my mother was the youngest one," she told me, in Sacramento, California. And I think they were migrant workers too as well. And she said, "My dad is Creole." Okay, I thought she said it's Greek. She said, "No, my dad's Creole. He's Black Creole." And yeah, her brother a little bit my complexion. I saw her picture of her brother. Okay, he's very thin. He part Mexican, part Black French Creole. Because he's darker than her. She's very light skinned. Okay, and I thought she was a full blown Mexican. Anyway, point is. And she said, what it was back in the day, the older aunts knew Spanish, but they thought that my mother, who's the youngest, would hinder her. This is back in the 60s, okay? Because she was born in 1960 something, okay? And she said, that's the reason why I don't know Spanish. And she married my father, and now we, back in those days, we didn't think it would be, known. And that's very true. So a lot of people do not know that. Even Mariah Carey, we use her for example. Mariah Carey's grandfather was Venezuelan. His name was Roberto Nunez. He came to the Florida Keys 1920, married Hattie Cole, who's an African descent. That's where her father, Mariah Carey, comes in. Nunez. He married a white woman, Irish American, Patricia Higley Carey. Nunez. Should I say if they didn't change the last name? Her grandfather changed his last name because he thought that it would hinder him. Okay? When white was right, when America was so-called great again. Okay? And even Mariah Carey said, well, Carey's an Irish last name. But see, Mariah don't understand Irish or white. Okay? You know what I'm saying? This dude is mixed, okay? They might put him as white with that trigger a little bit thing. We're trying to get him off the one drop rule, but no, baby. He is actually looking, and I saw his picture. He's lighter skinned. He look a typical. If you saw your thing, he's a light skinned Mexican, okay? But he's Venezuelan, okay? He's not no Afro looking dude, okay? Although he got in his bloodline, but that's how. And she don't know Spanish. She did some tracks in Spanish when she was married to Tom Mottola. but she don't know Spanish, and they've been asking her to go to Latin America to do her tour, which I think that'd be a great idea. I don't know why she hasn't thought about that. It'd be nice if she go to Latin America. She been to Venezuela. She told George Lopez, see where her grandmother, her great grandmother, Margarita Nunez, that's her name. Okay, her grandfather's mother, Margarita Nunez, and some Venezuelan show that YouTube got rid of, where her grandfather's people was on a talk show, and at the time, this was back in the 90s, so the little girl looked just like her. Or her grandpa had the curly hair, the exotic looking features, you know what I'm saying? And people said these people are lying, they not right. No, those are Mariah Carey's family on her grandfather's side that she never got to see. She went to the house and saw her grandmother was living, her great grandmother, should I say, but she, you know, saying, you know, so she's part of Venezuela. So a lot of people don't know, and even in, you gotta understand. I know a sister, it's called Tina Turner. She worked as a security officer. They used to work at the welfare office until her business. She probably retired already, but she used to get on my nerves. She was rude. She about my skin tone, but she was a little lighter. Cause she was very, you know, Houston weather, high pigmentation. That's why I put sunscreen on. She didn't put no sunscreen on. She wore a wig. And my Spanish was sometimes would stumble when I was at the welfare office working there as a temp back in '99 after, because '99, excuse me, 2009. Brian Michael Jackson we got killed. Okay, he got killed anyway because he died while I was working at the welfare office in the barrio. And this sister, well, she was talking. She said, "You know, my grandfather was Spanish, meaning he says attorneys here in Texas as Mexican. Okay, her grandfather was Mexican." And she said the black kids that pick on me back in the day, and she was born in 1940, right? Like 1940, like 1940, right? But yeah, like O.J. Simpson age, because she was in her 60s then, right? She was in her 60s. She was born 1940, and she was still working security officer, but she was mean. Oh, I can stand her sometimes. I try to hold my tongue. I disrespect. I ain't care how being older. I respect you. You should be taught to be Christian. And she'll laugh. See how I'm saying? She would take advantage. Look, I can call her boss the security officer and told her and lie on her, don't lie on people, tell the truth about her, snitch on her what she was doing. Anyway, before she got transferred to the other office. And she told, she said, I need my butt whipped because I should know Spanish. She said, when I was coming up back in the 60s, because she graduated in the 60s, which I correct, she said, the black kids was making fun of me every time my grandfather would come over to visit. So she said, when they didn't think back in those days, they need to learn Spanish, but they did not know that the demographic would change. More Hispanics would come to this country. So she said, I need my butt whooped because my grandfather is Spanish, and I don't know Spanish. You see what I'm saying? And people understand there were interracial mixing between African Americans back in those days, okay, and Mexicans. A lot of people, it's nothing new. The black Seminoles, who are part African American and Native American, from here going over to Latin America, going to Mexico, and also to do your research in South Texas. A lot of black men during the late 1800s were marrying Mexican women. Okay, this is nothing new. Okay, Lucy Gonzalez Parsons, she was a slave, part Mexican, part black and Native American, USA Native American. She married a white man. I think last name, I forgot his first name, was last name Parsons. He was a former Confederate soldier, fighting for being slave, okay? They got married, got kicked out of Texas. She passed as a non-black woman, so she's exotic looking. And then she was in Chicago. They said she was the worst of the rioters, which aspired to be like her. She used her voice to fight for her rights. Women's rights, minority rights, immigrant rights, workers' rights. When she died, the Chicago police, back in 1940s, when she died at 80-some years old, the Chicago Police Department got rid of her stuff. Yes, half of herself. Because if I find any Lucy Gonzalez parts, you know I'm going to buy that. You know me reading that stuff. Black Lives Matter, Latino Lives Matter. They know you better go read this. That's their Black Native American Latino sister stuff. Chicago Police, they got rid of that stuff. They showed they did the LAPD thing to her. They got rid of her stuff. They said that she was worse than Rod because she had to go and ride. She had a strong voice. They did not love. They hated Lucy Gonzalez Parsons. Okay, and you had Dark Dandridge. Dark Dandridge's mother, Ruby Dandridge, the Loretta Devine, who's dark skinned, who's from Houston, played her character. But the real Dr. Dandridge's mother, Ruby Dandridge, her mother, Nellie Simone, not Nellie Simon. She was Mexican and Native American. And, okay, because it's just Spanish. No, I read the book. She was Mexican and Native American. Her father was Jamaican. Okay, so that what she was, and her dad was part black from Africa, black, not been here for centuries in slavery, and part white. And I think I found it later on social media on the internet that he was part English. Darth Danrich was part Mexican. She played, besides black roles, she played Mexican roles, and she played Native American and Italian roles. Okay, because she was exotic looking. She was native. She was because the one drop rule. She got the black melon roll. That's why a lot of folks say, "Excuse me, why are these black women wearing melon roll on their clothes instead of Jordan?" She broke barriers for them. Remember, one thing I hate about Halle Berry, she by her being a one drop person, she not mentioned it in the movie. But if you read her bio, her book, she was part black, Jamaican, black Jamaican, Native American from here, and Mexican, along with African, and white. And I heard she was part English. So this is nothing new. And she did go to Mexico. I don't know if she speaks Spanish, but she did go to Mexico to play Mexican roles in Mexico, not just in the United States. So she was like the black Mel Monroe. Porgy and Bess. Was it Porgy and Bess? No, Carmen Jones. Carmen Jones. She played Carmen Jones. She played with Hala Belafonte. She played a lot. Yes, read about Dark Damage. So a lot of people not know that. And they said Jimi Hendrix was part Mexican. Besides Cherokee, he was part Mexican, Irish, and black. I heard about that too. I know he was Irish and German, Irish and Cherokee and black, but I'm hearing that he later on years he was also part Mexican. So a lot of people do not know that. But dude, you gotta understand, a lot of Latinos when they came here was taught not to speak Spanish. Even though Latinos were already here because this was part of Mexico, but still, those Chicanos, those third generation Mexican, fourth and fifth, five and six and seven, eight, nine, 10, whatever, generation Mexican Americans, they was taught not to learn Spanish. It's like the movie West Side Story when Rita Moreno was playing America, and she looked more darker then. She lighter now, but when she was on, remember the darker Puerto Rican guy said, "Don't lose your ass in America." You know what I'm saying? In America. You remember they was trying to defend being America, and they was talking about the sharks were saying, "How you selling out trying to be in America? You gonna do it? Don't lose your accent in America." A lot of Latinos lost their accent in America. Okay, a lot of them lost their Spanish language and assimilated to the United States. So when you're talking about interracial relationships, you gotta talk about, since they made the Hispanic category as a racial category, even though it's not as ethnicity, but a lot of mixed race people in Latin America, that's what they're talking about. People who are racially mixed, we're talking about all colors, done their background. Not it's just exotic looking ones. I'm talking about their background and ancestry. That's the reason why they made that category. Okay, in 1960s and 70s. The truth of the matter is that a lot of them see themselves as another race, and you have that mejor raza and the colorism but on United States standpoint, U.S. belief system, not in the Latin American belief system. Okay, so in your argument, dude, I agree with the things you're saying a little bit. Once again, I disagree as well. That's all I have to say. Okay, I gotta take care of business. Vaya, adios.